Well, hello. Been a week since I've made a video. I took a little bit of a um, much needed little breather, I guess you could say. During that week, I got ordained. So I'm now going to be starting to preach inside the pulpits and online still, too. And still doing my educational things like Bible studies and, of course, the Messianic Prophecies. I'm still working on some other things like the Revelations Explained. But let's go ahead and get started with part two. If you ain't seen part one, I'd check it out. I'm basically explaining the messianic prophecies that are in the Old Testament that are fulfilled in the New Testament. There's actually quite a few of them. I'm not going to do them all, like I'd said in the first video, but I'm doing some important ones, I think. And the first one that I'm going to do in this one is called A Promised Redeemer. Um, you can find it in the book of Job in chapter 19, verses 25 through 27. It reads, "For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. And after my skin is destroyed, this I know, that in my flesh I shall see God, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. How my heart yearns within." So right here, crazy, it's saying Jesus is the Redeemer, pretty much. Because all through the Old Testament, if you don't realize, Jesus is all through the Old Testament from day one on. But you could find it fulfilled here in John chapter 5, verse 28 through 29. It reads, "Do not marvel at this, for the hour is coming in which all who are in the graves will hear his voice and come forth, those who have done good, to the resurrection of life, and those who have done evil to the resurrection of condemnation." And then again, it is fulfilled in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 7, verse 11, and verse 14. Verse 7 reads, "In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins according to the riches of his grace." And in verse 11, it reads, "In him also we have obtained an inheritance, being predestined according to the purpose of him who works all things according to the counsel of his will." And verse 14, "Who is the guarantee of our inheritance until the redemption of the purchased possession to the praise of his glory." Crazy. Crazy, man. You know, most people probably didn't even know there's a prophecy in the book of Job, but that is that one. Now, as we get to part two, or the second one I have in this, I think I did 7 in this one. The first one I did 6 prophecies. I think I did 7 in this one. And to the new people that have been joining, there's a lot of new people. If you watch this, if you hear a clicking, it's me hitting um, my mouse on my computer to scroll down on the notes I have written. But this one is the resurrection. You could find this in Psalm 16, verses 8 through 10. It reads, verses 8 to 10, "I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at the right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoices. My flesh always will rest in hope. For you will not leave me, or leave my soul in Sheol, nor will you allow your Holy One to see corruption." Sheol is the deepest part of hell, basically, is what that old word means. It is the deepest part of hell. So, saying in Psalms, "I will not leave your soul in the deepest part of hell, nor allow the Holy One to see corruption." Then in Psalms 49, verse 15, it tells similar. Verse 15 reads, "But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me, Shalah." Then in Psalms 86, verse 13 reads, "For great is your mercy toward me, and you have delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol." Then you could find this being fulfilled in Mark chapter 16, verse 6. It reads, "He said to them, 'Do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. See the place where they lay him.'" Then in Acts chapter 2, verse 27, for you will not leave my soul in Hades, nor will you allow your Holy One to see corruption. Then in Acts chapter 13, verse 35, therefore, he also says in another psalm, you will not allow your Holy One to see corruption. Then in Acts chapter 26, verse 23, that the Christ would suffer, that he would be the first to rise from the dead and would proclaim light to the Jewish people and to the Gentiles. So crazy. Every little thing he says, the next one I'm getting to, is the most powerfulest one, I believe. It is crazy. All of them are crazy. But this is fun looking through these. If you haven't known it, there's prophecies through here. Now, this next one is probably going to be the longest one out of all of them. Really, the whole chapter of Psalms 22 is a prophecy. It is a very, very, very deep prophecy. Verses 1 through 31, that's the whole chapter, talks basically of the hands and feet being pierced. Verses 7 through 8, mocked and insulted. Verses 18, the cast of lots for the clothes. Here is how it starts in Psalms 22, verse 1. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me and from the words of my groaning? Now, in Mark chapter 15, verse 34, and at the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is translated, my God, why have you forsaken me? Now, before I move any further, he's not saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? Like, oh, man, my father has forsaken me. He's not going to come and redeem me. No. What he's trying to do through all of the New Testament is tell you prophecies throughout the Old Testament. So here he's trying to remind people of Psalms 22 when David cried out, my God, my God. Now I'm going to continue back onto this. Now after he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. Psalms 22, verses 7 through 8. And those who see me ridicule me. They shoot out the lip. They shake the head, saying, he trusted in the Lord. Let him rescue him. Let him deliver him, since he delights in him. If you compare that to Matthew chapter 27, verse 43, he trusted in God. Let him deliver him now, if he will save him. For he said, I am the Son of God. Then in Psalms chapter 22, verse 18, they divided my garments among them, and for my clothes they casted lots. Man. Then you get the Matthew chapter 27, verse 35. Then they crucified him and divided his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they casted lots. You can also find that in Mark chapter 15, verse 24, Luke chapter 23, verse 34. But lastly, I'm going to add on to this from the Old Testament one here in Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10, can tie into this. And I will pour on the house of David and on the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and supplication. Then they will look on me whom they pierced. Yes, they will mourn for him as one mourns for his only son, and grieve for him as one grieves for a firstborn. Then in John chapter 19, verse 37, and again another scripture says, they shall look on him whom they pierced. So many fulfillments through this book that is ridiculed itself. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now this next one is actually kind of a relatively, I would say, quick one. It's not a really big one. You can call this no bone being broken. You could find it in Exodus chapter 12, verse 46, but listen hard to this one. Verse 46, in one house it shall be eaten. You shall not carry any of the flesh outside the house, nor shall you break one of its bones. They're talking about the sacrifices they did back in the Levitical days. Then in Numbers chapter 9, verse 12, they shall leave none of it until morning, nor break one of its bones. According to all the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep it. Then you can find this in Psalms 34, verse 20. He guards all his bones. Not one of them is broken. And here is where it is fulfilled finally. In John chapter 9, verse 36, for these things were done that the scripture should be fulfilled. Not one of his bones shall be broken. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Alrighty. I know I keep saying crazy, 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 but you know what? I mean, it is just, if you go through all these, I'm telling you, and read them, maybe read the whole chapter. It's just how you can tie these things in. And I really can't wait till the final third part of this I do. It's only going to be a three-part series when I really get into some other ones like the virgin birth and et cetera, et cetera. I can't wait till I get to those. But this one is kind of a relatively quick one also. It is hated without reason. You find it in Psalms 35, verse 19. Let them not rejoice over me who are wrongfully my enemies, nor let them wink with the eye who hates me without a cause. Then in Psalms 69, verse 4, those who hate me without a cause are more than the hairs of my head. They are mighty who would destroy me, being my enemies wrongful. Though I have stolen nothing, I still must restore it. Then here's where it fulfills. In John chapter 15, verses 24 through 25. If I had not done among them the works which no one else did, they would have no sin. But now they have seen and also hated both me and my Father. But this happened that the world might be fulfilled, which is written in their law. They hated me without a cause. Crazy, man. And in case you're wondering, I'm reading out of the New King James. Um, I typically do that or King James. New King James just kind of takes the THs out of stuff. Um, I used to back in the day use the NIV till I realized a lot of things were missing. There's a lot of things in the New Testament missing in that. But anyways, we're getting two more left. Two more left, actually. This one is the prophecy. It's called I Come to Do Thy Will. You find it in Psalms 40, verses 6 through 8. Sacrifice and offering you did not desire. My ears you have opened. Burnt offering and sin offering you did not require. Then I said, behold, I come. In the scroll of the book it is written of me. I delight to do your will, O my God, and your law is within my heart. And it is fulfilled in Hebrews chapter 10, verses 5 through 9. Therefore, when he came into the world, he said, sacrifice and offering you did not desire, but a body you have prepared for me. In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin you have had no pleasure. Then I said, behold, I have come in the volume of a book. It is written of me to do your will, O God, previously saying, sacrifice and offering, burnt offerings, and offerings for sin you do not desire, or you did not desire, nor had pleasure in them, which are offered according to the law. Then he said, behold, I have come to do your will, O God. He takes away the first that he may establish the second. Powerful, man. Whole Bible's powerful. Now, as we get to the last one, wrapping up this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it so far. The last one I got for this one is betrayed by a friend and sold for 30 pieces of silver or money, however you want to put it. This is a big one to end it with. It's the betrayal, of course, of Judas to Jesus. So, in Psalms 41, verse 9, even my own familiar friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted up his heel against me. You find this in Matthew chapter 26, verse 14 through 16. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priest and said, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him to you?" And they counted out to him 30 pieces of silver. So from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. You can also find that same verse pretty much, or just in a different context, in Mark chapter 14, verses 17 through 21, Luke chapter 22, verses 19 through 23, and John chapter 13, verses 18 through 19. But also in Psalms 55, verses 12 through 14, it reads, "For it is not an enemy who reapproaches me, then I could bear it. Nor is it one who hates me, who has exalted himself against me. Then I could hide from him. But it was you, a man my equal, my companion and my acquaintance. You took sweet counsel together and walked to the house of God in my throng." Here in Matthew chapter 27, verse 9, then was fulfilled what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying that they took 30 pieces of silver, the value of him who was priced, whom they of the children of Israel priced. Compare that to Zechariah chapter 11, verse 12. You can find it there also. So I want to say God bless you guys and thank you guys. And I got a sermon coming on Monday. I don't preach till 6 p.m. And I'm working on part 1 of Deuteronomy Bible study that I'm going to release next week. It's been a while since I have put one of those out, since I finished Numbers, but I haven't stopped doing my study, even though I took a break from putting the Bible studies out for about a week and a half. I am already done with part 1 writing it. I just haven't found pictures to go with it. So as I continue to do that, it'll be released sometime either Monday or Tuesday next week. And then I will start working on Messianic Prophecies Part 3 as I close this up. If anybody is wanting to know where you can find all prophecies, I can print out like a list, or type one up and like screenshot it to somebody or something, because there is a lot of them that just repeat, and I didn't add them in there because there's a lot of them that repeat from verse to verse, from chapter book to book, really. So like I said, God bless you guys and thank you. And good things are coming here in 2021 as new ministry opens up. I'm still doing God's Soldiers ministry online, but I also have Highways and Hedges ministry. And I will share those videos to God's Soldiers at all times too, but also they'll be on that platform and website. That one's more of a pulpit and street preaching. This one's more of an online. So God bless you guys and thank you. And I will continue to always share. I feed homeless this Saturday, so you guys see some of the outreach we've done. We've been blessed being donated without even asking for donations before our ministry opened up and became tax exempt. We didn't even ask for anything, but we were given a turkey, we were given $100, we were given 200 Bibles. So things just lined up because the Lord is working through his anointed ones, so we can continue to be fisher of men and bring people to the Lord in these times. God bless you guys.